Hello again guys, welcome back to Let's Play This War of Mine. So this is day 2. In the previous day Marco spent the night out scavenging for different materials and he had just returned. So as you can see he brought all those useful items back. Some parts, some electric parts like capacitors and diodes, some components and some wood. So let's see. So first things first, as you can see, the status of the survivors started changed. So Bruno is hungry and tired since he spent the night guarding. Pavle slept poorly and he's hungry. And since he slept poorly, since we don't have a bed. And Marco is also hungry and tired. So let's see, let's build a bed so that people can rest. And we actually are going to need 2 beds for 3 people, but unfortunately we're probably not going to have the resources. Oh, actually we do. Okay, never mind. So let's build 1 bed first. And let's build it right here. Actually. So let's see. Let's here and here. I think are actually good places. Yeah. Okay. And we also going to need some other things to build. For instance, we need to build a stove in order to cook. So let's see, let's make one. And let's put it here next to the fridge. I think it's a good place. See, here in the fridge we keep all the food. And is there enough spaces for another? Are there enough resources for another bed? Let's check. I think initially we don't. Actually we do. But we also need to build a radio. And you're going to see why. So I don't know. Should we make a second bed or should we make a radio? Let's make a second bed since we actually didn't manage to sleep well the first night, and we're going to get some components and build the radio later on. I'll explain why we need a radio later. Let's put it here. I like to keep the 2 beds together next to each other. Okay, nice. Alright, so let's put this guy to bed. So, after some amount of game time, I think 4 or 5 hours passes, he's going to lose the tired status. And this guy actually cannot sleep because he only slept poorly, but he slept. But this guy didn't sleep. So let's see, let's put him to bed as well. So now both the tired characters are going to sleep and are going to lose the tired status. So hungry is another unfortunate status, but let me tell you a secret. When I first played the game, whenever the people are hungry I used to feed them, but this way we're going to run out of food really quickly, since there's a great shortages of food. Let's see if there's anything else we can build while I talk. No, nothing, only fuel, and we don't need fuel now. Okay, so let's put him in the chair and let's just have him wait. So now I'll explain again about the food. So basically we only need to eat every other day. So on day 2 we don't eat, we are hungry, and on day 3 the status is also going to be hungry. On day 4, if they haven't eaten, it's going to change to very hungry, which is already has some negative consequences. So we're just going to feed the people every other day. So on every odd day, starting from day 3. Day 3, day 5, and so on and so on. So this way, once they eat, it doesn't matter whether they eat on day 2 or day 3, or if they have been not eating for 1 or 2 days. Whenever they eat, the status changes from hungry to just nothing. Basically, they're not hungry anymore. The hungry status disappears. Alright. So actually, while we wait while those 2 guys sleep, let's show you some things. So here we have our things. This is like our inventory with everything that we have. But here we also have some thoughts, and these like some guidelines that the game gives you about what to do in the initial stages of the game. So here is like some general impression. Our shelter offers a bit of reprieve from the horrors of war. Okay, so this is going to change once we start improving our shelter. So we only have 1 chair, so basically we need to build more chairs. We have beds and we sleep in decent conditions. Okay, so this is good, so we already have enough beds. If someone gets sick or wounded, they'll have a place to rest. So this again relates to the number of beds. So I think we actually need only one bed in the beginning, but I always prefer to build two beds, since this way I can get everybody rested in time. We don't have a radio, we don't know what's going on in the city. Okay, so basically, as I mentioned earlier, we need to build a radio. The radio is very useful because we can play some music to keep the morale up. And also it gives you some important news. There are several different radio stations that you can listen to, and you get news about what's happening in the city. And things like the weather. The weather is important for the health of the characters, and also other important information, as you see later on. We have a few books. Okay, that's good. A good book helps forget the horrors of war. How many books we have? 3. So I don't know how many books is enough. I think books are actually also a valuable commodity that can be used for fuel for the stove or for the heater, which we're going to build later on. But there also we need to keep a few books in order to again for morale. So there are several. The survivors are not all the same. Each of them has different personality, and some of them get depressed more easily. But if the morale is very low due to certain things, such as lack of food or lack of sleep or lack of books, as in this case, the morale is going to change and people are going to get sadder and sadder. And let's say they can have the status sad, which can develop into depressed, which can develop into broken. Once a person gets to broken status, they cannot do anything. They basically sleep on the bed and do nothing. And you gotta do some things to cheer them up. Otherwise, they're going to die. It's pretty unfortunate. So, you know, things like having them fed and well rested, and having a radio to listen to some music, and having some books to read. These things really help with the morale. Okay, what else? Staying here is better than living in a complete ruin. We like cigarettes. Okay. So, Bruno, as you can see, here you can see the bio of all the characters, and Bruno is a smoker. So basically, he might get sad if he doesn't get enough cigarettes. But actually, I think that if everything else is fine, if he is well fed and rested, he's not going to get sad. But, you know, cigarettes are going to help for him to stay happy. So actually, let's read about his bio. Before the war, I used to own a restaurant. I even had my own TV show, Bruno's Cuisine. I'm sure you've seen it. I visited beautiful places where I was filmed cooking exquisite dishes. All that seems of no importance now, but don't you think? Nowadays you're lucky if you get your hands on some canned meat or a bag of rice. And who knows how long this war is going to last. Alright, so I guess he is a cook. Let's see. Pavle is a fast runner. Before this whole mess began, I lived with my wife and son in the better part of the city. I haven't seen them in a long time. I hope they're okay. I'm not doing so well, as you can see. Who needs football players during war? Oh, okay, so he is a football player. So that's why he is a fast runner. Nobody cares about sports when every day can be their last. So I scavenge the ruins like everybody else, hoping for the best. So actually, as you'll find out later on, or actually pretty soon, Pavle is not as useful in this game as Bruno or Marco. So Marco is a very skilled scavenger, he can carry a lot of items, and Bruno is a good cook, which you still don't know what it means yet, but I'll show you in a few minutes. And Pavle is just a fast runner, so this means when he scavenges and when he runs from things, he's going to run faster, but this doesn't affect the game so much. Okay, so Marco is now rested. As you can see, the tired status is gone, but he's still hungry. But you're still hungry. Haha, do you know this reference? Chrono Trigger. Never mind, okay. So, I'm hungry, yeah. And this guy's already complaining. Where are my cigarettes? Okay. So let me show you what a good cook means. So here we have the stove, and if we click this icon we can prepare some meals. Okay, so here we're using Pavle to cook meals. So as you can see we can produce one meal or 2 meals. And this is enough to feed 1 person, this is enough to feed 2 people. And here are all the resources that are needed. So 2 meals needs raw food and vegetables, and here we don't have vegetables. And 1 meal only needs raw food. And both of them need water and fuel. But 2 meals is more efficient because, as you can see, it produces two items for 6 water and 2 fuel. And this one provides only 1 item for 5 water and 2 fuel. So if I want to produce 2 using just raw food but no vegetables, we're going to need 10 water and 4 fuel instead of just 6 water and 2 fuel. So it's always better to use vegetables. But okay, so as you can see, let's say 1 cooked item needs 1 raw food, 5 water and 2 fuel. Let's see what happens if we actually use Bruno, who was a good cook. So, 1 raw food, only 3 water and 1 fuel. So as you can see, it requires less resources for Bruno to cook meals rather than everybody else. So that's why Bruno is useful. He's going to cook all our meals and is going to spend less resources to do that. Okay, let's see. So as I recall, we don't have enough to build the radio, which is unfortunate, but oh, okay. So we need some components. So never mind then. Let's see, what else do we need then? We have 7 wood and only 1 component. So this time we're going to take most of the components. But we also need some food. As you recall, on day 3 we need food. So there's nothing else we can do. So if we click, then day is going to jump straight to 8 PM. And that's what we're going to do now. So now is the night. So now we can have people sleep. But since we have, you know, since we have now 2 beds, we can have everybody sleep. So it's fine if we give them both guard. So I think on day 2 we can already get ready during the night, and the more people guarding, the less of a chance we get some negative consequences. And there can be some negative consequences, such as they can steal things from our shelter, or our characters can get injured. So again, we're going to send Marco to scavenge, and here actually we have a couple of new locations, which we can examine later on, but we actually don't care about them yet. Now all we need is some components and some food, which we already know we can find in the ghost house. So let's go there again. And here we see how much of the place we scavenged, only 22%. So we're going to need roughly 4 more trips to scavenge it completely, as you can see. So let's go. So this time we don't need to take the crowbar or the shovel, so because we opened all the locks. And there weren't actually any rubble in there to clear, so we didn't even need the shovel in the first place, but we didn't know that in the beginning. So let's see. So we're going to have, we're going to come empty-handed, and we're going to take even more stuff back. And to remember, everything was in the fridge. So let's go. Let's go, let's go. Okay, so now we're going to be very quick. We're just going to go to the fridge and take whatever we need. So let's see, as I mentioned, we need mostly components. So let's take, okay, so first of all, actually we need food. So let's take all the food. And let's see, and let's take all the components. Yikes, actually there aren't that much components, that many. It's unfortunate. Let's take all the water. And let's take the wood. Oops, no, we don't need weapons. And actually, let's see what else. Let's take the sugar. We're going to need it sooner than everything else. We don't need weapons yet. We don't need any of the other things. We don't need medicine. Okay, so as you noticed, there is no more wood and components here. So unless we need medicine really soon, we actually don't need any of the other things for the moment. So maybe tomorrow we're going to scavenge another place, we'll see. Because we need, as you see, the most important things again in the beginning, components and wood. So let's go back. Let's just hit run to exit, and you'll see he automatically run back. Day 3. Okay, so this is the end of the second day, guys, and I think this is a good time to stop this video as well. So, I'll see you later, guys. Okay. Actually, before I stop, as you can see here, we've been raided. Somebody came at night to take our things by force. So it's a good thing we had 2 people on guard. So as you can see, let's see what it says here. Somebody tried to rob us. They must have been more scared than us, so we managed to fend them off. That's good. Thankfully, we were all armed. None of us were wounded and the attackers didn't steal anything. So yeah, this is good. So the bad things could be one of us could be wounded, or both of us, and they could steal some of our stuff. But we were able to defend ourselves. And as you can see here, it says we have all the stuff that Marco took. But as I mentioned, we're going to stop this video now. I just wanted to show you what happens when you get raided. So talk to you later, guys. Bye bye.